Thank you very much, Dari, as you're watching the Halal Guys Holiday Hoops Giving from State Farm Arena in Atlanta, GA. Game number 2. We saw Georgia take down Cincinnati in game number 1. And, well, the Auburn Tigers and the Chattanooga Mocs certainly are two teams that are coming off fantastic seasons. For the Auburn Tigers at Final Four. And for the Mocs, how about an NIT championship? Dave Neal alongside the coach, Mark Wise. Glad you've been with us tonight. But, boy, that was a year ago, Mark. Things have completely turned for both these teams in terms of their rosters and how they're going about business.
These two teams combined to win 61 games a year ago, and yet they both lost a vast majority of scoring from these teams. However, returning piece for Auburn is sophomore Tahad Pettiford. He's coming off a career-high 30 against Arizona, but he got the season off to a slow start, and you see the difference between his first 3 games and his last 7 games. However, head coach Stephen Pearl has challenged Pettiford and others to get teammates involved. I want to watch Pettiford navigate the fine line, Dave, between being a scorer and being a helper.
There is no doubt he will impact this team in the direction that they take once we get to league play in January. Meanwhile, on the flip side, Dan Earl and this Chattanooga team had to revamp their roster, and then a couple of guys they were hoping to revamp it with are out with injury. Really trying to just find some pieces, plug some holes, and just keep that water from flooding their ship.
Do you know what the ultimate respect is, though? When we talked to Stephen Pearl today about guarding Dan Earl, feel his
yes.
It's like nobody in the league plays like them. A lot of 4-out, a lot of Princeton kind of action. You have to guard it different. You have to be solid.
Stephen Pearl in his first year, 12th year with the program. But he is the man of the moment for the Auburn Tigers. 7-3 for Auburn this year. Chattanooga at 5-5. And we are underway with the Mocs having the first possession.
Now you're going to see a lot of 4-out, 5-out, a lot of cutting. But that's going to be the difference, I think, the length of Auburn.
Dump it down. Keyshawn Murphy. Swing it around. Pettiford. Starting lineups presenting by the Halal Guys. Boy, Keyshawn Hall has been the man of the moment for Auburn on the floor. Averaging over 20 points a game, but a takeaway there by the Mocs. Chattanooga starting lineup presented by the Halal Guys. Good defense from Auburn this half-court set. No easy look for Chattanooga. Hall blocks that one out of bounds. Brennan Watkins at 6 feet. Making that against a much taller Auburn defense. 7 on the shot clock. Billy Smith for 3. Murphy the rebound.
Well, I think we're going to see Chattanooga take a healthy amount of threes. The genesis of all great upsets start at the three-point line.
They like to take the 3 to begin with, but today perhaps more so than ever are going to have to launch some threes. And speaking of threes, Tahad Pettiford, who's at 30% for the season, looked really good on that one.
And coming off that career-high 30 against Arizona, knocked down 5 from bonus land. Well, that's too easy. That is way too easy.
Billy Smith with 25 threes on the year, 37%. The youngster out of Indianapolis, Indiana, senior transfer, averaged 14 points a year ago at Bellarmine. Knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Auburn. There is Dan Earl on that far side, coaching up the Mocs in his 4th year. 29-9 last year, 15-3, won a SoCon regular season title. could not win the tournament title, which is the automatic berth for that league, and instead goes to the NIT. And some might think disappointment for the year they had, but all they did is they run the table and win it all.
Historic.
And really just captured the attention of the state of Tennessee and Chattanooga, in particular with that postseason run.
5 wins in the NIT, 2 of those on the road at Middle Tennessee State and at Bradley. Beat Dayton at home, and then the semis got Loyola of Chicago and UC Irvine in the championship game to cut down the net. Championship game to cut down the net. Only 2 coaches get to cut down nets.
That's right. That's right.
Winner of the NCAA, winner of the NIT.
Keyshawn Murphy averaging 10 points, 5 rebounds. Of course, spent the majority of his career at Mississippi State. Young man out of Birmingham, Alabama. There's a look at the postseason runs for those 2 teams. Auburn, of course, goes to their second Final Four last year. First coming in 2019.
Auburn a little full court denial. They want to make this game more a 70, 80-foot game. Chattanooga wants to do exactly what they're doing right now. Execute in the half court.
Darner gets it back to Smith. Now here is Makai Richards. 3 on the shot clock.
Too easy. Man,
wide
that
open
is
3.
Such good execution, though.
Hall. He lines it up and knocks it home. That's 6'7", 240 and 44% from behind the arc this year.
But did you see the ball move? The ball had energy. That's what Stephen Pearl wants to see from this Auburn team today.
Little too strong from Richards. Underneath, Sebastian Williams-Adams.
Nice job of Williams-Adams rim running. I'm telling you now, if you don't get there on the catch, these guys can light it up. Darner, 47% from deep.
A freshman out of Lakeland, Florida. A true freshman.
Dad Link, the head coach at Tampa U.
Legendary coach. And Auburn throws that one away. There's Stephen Pearl. Boy, this schedule, we were talking to him about the schedule his dad left him.
Yes. He wasn't too pleased.
He's like shaking his head. Are you kidding me?
Actually, you know, he said it was okay except for the Arizona game because it meant 2 trips out west.
And not a lot of turnaround. Team wasn't ready to play, and he puts the blame on himself, but they got smoked by Arizona. And he said, we could have played a really good game and probably still lost by 20. Boy, nice action again. Can Chattanooga convert? They'll head to the free throw line. Good patience by Bowman and the Mocs. Auburn by 3, first time out of the game. Back to State Farm in Atlanta right after this. SEC men's basketball brought to you by the Halal Guys. From a New York City food cart to a global fast casual icon. What a run for the Mocs, the 2025 NIT champs. First school from the Southern Conference to ever win any NCAA-sponsored basketball championship. 15 road wins, second most in program history. It was, and yet they had to replace Huff and Bonham and Champion and Whalen in that group. So all double-figure scorers. So they started from anew, if you will, in terms of the portal. But when we talked to Dan Earl, he talked to us about he wants skill guys and tough guys. Well, he lost a couple of tough guys to injuries right now, so he's relying a heavy amount on skill at this point. We've seen some of these sets that he runs, and Stephen Pearl telling us today at shoot-around this morning that, man, I have to preach to our guys that if you turn your head or take one possession off, it could be a 2 or a 3 like that before you know it.
Josh Bowman was going to redshirt until all the rash of entries in the front court, and he came in the SEMO game last week, so they've burned the red shirt.
Played 22 minutes in their last game, had a career-high 8 points.
Chattanooga, a little 2-2-1, back to a 2-3. Teddy Washington Jr. in the game. Second leading scorer for the Mocs.
But that one's brought out. Bowman underneath, banging with a couple of the Auburn big boys. Last touched by the Mocs. It'll stay with Auburn. 16 on the shot clock. Filip Jovic trying to post up. They don't get it to him. They kick it out to the wing, and that one's off the mark from Overton. Here's Smith to Bowman. Darner fires. No good. Oh, how about that take from Elijah Freeman?
He's another guy that's been starting, came off the bench today. He's been real consistent for the Tigers on the glass all season. The transfer from Lincoln Memorial.
Division II school. Off the front of the rim. Boy, Darner kept a lot, got it back. Good ball fake. A 2 on the way, left it short. And a foul against the Mocs.
Take another look. This is coast to coast. Elijah Freeman, the left-hander, finishes at the rim. Nobody stops the ball in transition. He takes advantage.
Elijah averaging 8 points per game. Last year at Lincoln Memorial, that Division II school averaged 19 points a game.
This is a heavy switching man-to-man, so at times it looks like a zone. If you're ever in doubt, send a cutter through. That will tell you what kind of defense the other team is in.
Wow. Simon Walker playing in just his 5th game.
He is now 7 of 10 from deep.
He might be playing a little bit more. He keeps shooting like that. Easy layup on the other end by Teddy Washington.
I love that slice cut from the slot as the ball's being penetrated on the baseline. That is such tough action to guard.
14-10 Tigers over the Mocs. Here's Hall. Boy, some nice moves. He's fouled, hacked across the arms by Smith.
Dave, watch number 10 in blue, Teddy Washington Jr. Bottom part of your screen. See that slice cut? Everybody's got their eye on the dribbler. That's a great find by Hartman, and easy deuce for Washington, averaging almost 11 a game.
By the way, Bowman just picked up his 2nd foul, so the youngster will head back to the bench here. And substitutions for the Mocs.
Not going to be a lot of front court substituting.
No. Sean Cousineau at 6'9", he's out with an injury. Colin Mulholland, who was part of that NIT run at 6'10", and could really shoot it, he's out with an injury.
Juve at 6'9" is out.
Billy Smith. Richards goes with a left hand. A little too strong. Jovic with the rebound. Hall. Magwood swings it around. Oh. I'm just telling you right now that Simon Walker can flat out shoot it. Wow. 8 of 11 now.
Talk about a little offensive punch off the bench.
Walker, I keep an eye on him. Here we go.
Well, you got to shoot that, don't you?
Yeah. You don't you get a freebie? You make two, you get a freebie.
You get a freebie.
Catch and shoot in the corner from Freeman won't go. Mox back the other way. Here's Watkins. Takes it himself, almost got it. The free throws coming up. Simon Walker, again, this is just the 5th game he's played this year.
6'5", freshman from Huntsville. That barely hit the net. It was so pure. And look at everybody on the bench in the background.
And he's chirping a little bit. Simon Walker did get to play 15 minutes against Michigan. Went 1 for 3 from behind the arc. But didn't play the first 4 games and hadn't played the last 2, but getting some early work for Stephen Pearl and this Auburn team in the first half against Chattanooga. So Watkins will take a seat. Sha'Carri Johnson comes in, another Division II transfer. And a Trevecca Nazarene in the Nashville area.
And here's the 1-2-2. I don't think it's really designed for a turnover. I just think they want to make Auburn use some clock and then back to the 3-2. So Chattanooga throwing the kitchen sink right now at Auburn defensively. That's a problem there. Ball goes in there, that's a problem.
5 on the shot clock. Freeman kicks it back out to Hall, and that won't go. Rebound to Jordan Friesen.
What I really like about Chattanooga, Dave, they make you guard in transition, and they make you guard in the half court.
Chattanooga hanging around as we hit 11.5 to play in the opening frame. Auburn ranked 21st in the country. Here's Hall. Fouled, he'll head to the free throw line. And we'll step aside as Richards picks up that foul. Auburn by force. Free throws coming up here at State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. You are watching the SEC on ESPN. Dave Neal, Mark Wise, State Farm Arena in Atlanta. It is game 2. Georgia beat Cincinnati earlier. Auburn and Chattanooga going at it here, and the Tigers up 18-14. One of the things Stephen Pearl talked about today with us and with his team, we were over here listening to the conversation with his club. Man, we got to pass the ball, be unselfish. I'm looking for 20 assists today.
Well, here's the thing that he mentioned to us. According to Ken Palm, Auburn's assists to field goal made ratio is in the 300s. So he wants to see them get in a better habit of not taking the first shot necessarily, but a better shot. And I think they've gotten off to the right foot here. Now, I think for Stephen Pearl, and he alluded to this with us earlier, the question mark is, can they guard this action?
Yeah.
That Chattanooga throws at you that no one else in the SEC runs.
Well, Chattanooga's gotten 3 or 4 really good looks offensively. They've converted a couple of those. But Chattanooga's certainly hanging around.
Now here's Hall at a familiar spot, the free throw line, because he gets there almost 9 times a game. Wonderful at fouls drawn.
And when you get to the line as much as he has, which was 78 times coming into this game, and you make 91%,
right?
That's how you get to average 21 points a game.
Correct.
Darner left a little bit short. Magwood hanging with him defensively. Now Magwood goes back the other way. Little stutter step, bounce pass. Murphy with the right hand.
Yeah, Murphy in the dunker spot there. Waited for the ball to find him.
Here's Washington. Got it. Got right to the elbow and didn't let Keyshawn Murphy disturb him.
That's taking what the defense gives you.
Hall in traffic.
He's a bucket getter. Just a flat bucket getter. Wow. Auburn's transition defense not very good.
And Chattanooga going a little too fast.
Caught a break there. Well, Chattanooga is going very small right now. Bowman with the 2 fouls. Richards getting a breather. That means the 5-man is Billy Smith at 6'7".
Magwood off to Freeman. Here's Hall in the corner now. Freeman in traffic. Short gets his own miss and the putback. Well, that's just where they don't have that size.
Right. Being active at 6'8", lanky, quick off the floor.
10-point game. Washington, shot clock goes into single digits. Bryson for 3. Rebound to Magwood. Boy, Hall triple teamed, and they're going to say tie up. Auburn will retain possession.
Elijah Freeman penetrates off 2 feet, doesn't get it, but quick on the second jump to get the easy deuce. Averaging 8 points, but more importantly, probably for this Auburn team, better than 5 boards a game.
Tough 3 off the mark from Caden Magwood. Saved, though, by the Tigers. Another opportunity to Hod Pettiford. Here's Hall, back to Pettiford. Looking for his second 3, and he gets it.
That was impressive, Dave, because the pass was not a great one. He had to reach behind him to catch it. Great passers, they throw strikes. They don't throw balls, they throw strikes.
It's an 11-2 Auburn run. Washington for 3. He's knocks that one home. And boy, Stephen Pearl not happy with that defense. Calls a quick timeout. 29-19, Auburn out in front. Back to Atlanta right after this.
Travel your heart out with G Adventures.
Left, right, it doesn't matter. This is what happened today.
I want to be able to form my own opinions.
Cause of oral health problems, helping to improve oral health in just 3 weeks to prevent problems before they start, so you can be dentist ready with Colgate Total.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place. Where your breakfast faves like pancakes, eggs, and bacon, or French toast with sausage and eggs are all just $6. The new value menu, every day at IHOP.
Using Kiehl's avocado eye cream is going to help blur under eye texture and help it last longer to prevent it from settling into fine lines.
Now you would see an immediate improvement in your concealer. Let me know what you think if you're going to be trying this one this holiday season.
Stephen Pearl coaching up his guys after taking a quick timeout on this last play that resulted in a Chattanooga 3.
This is a simple little dribble exchange. Neither defender jumps out. They both take the wrong guy. For a team that shoots 32 threes a game, Stephen Pearl was not happy.
No, he was not. He was not in the holiday hoops giving mood at that point. But see, share, and shoot, the Dan Earl motto. He is not afraid to let his guys shoot the 3. They have been very effective offensively running A lot of great action that just frees guys up. They just kind of, I don't want to say lull you to sleep, but if you take your eyes off the wrong spot, they burn you.
Right.
Pettiford, a couple of threes. Here's Murphy. That won't go. Rebound to Tate Darner. There's the cut. Kick it around. Boy, he might have got away with a little carry on that dribble.
Maybe twice.
Watkins. Darner with 4 on the shot clock, rips the net.
I mentioned this in our first game today. Normally when we talk about patience, we're talking about offensive patience. If you're going to guard Chattanooga, you better have great defensive patience.
Again, Darner just a true freshman. Plays with a lot of swagger and confidence. Overton, some contact.
Kind of harpooned that ball in.
Washington. Back to Watkins. Washington in traffic, throws it up off the rim, no good. Hall the rebound. Hall kicks it to Overton, in and out, but there's Murphy for another rebound. That's 5 rebounds and 5 points for Keyshawn Murphy.
But I love the play by Hall. Got feet in the paint in transition, wide open 3.
Holland swings it around the perimeter. Smith took it right inside, and Sebastian Williams-Adams and got the deuce.
I think Chattanooga is going to score enough in this game. The question becomes, can they get enough stops?
Long 3 from Murphy, no good. Darner off to Watkins.
Yeah, I was about to say Pettiford got away with a hold.
He did for a fraction of a second, and then that'll stop it with a foul on Tahad. Substitutions abound for Auburn with that stoppage.
Look at this set, though, on the out under. You do not see this very often. I love it.
4 starting at midcourt stripe. And they work their action and get it inside to Bowman. Deep 3 from Darner. Got another one. Tate Darner with 3 threes here in the first half. Has cut it to 6.
You know, it's one thing to say be there on the catch, but when guys have that kind of ability, you have to be there before the catch.
Yeah. Auburn kicks it out to Freeman. Foul on Smith underneath.
Taking another look at the Darner 3. He's halfway between the 3-point line and midcourt. Doesn't matter for the young freshman. Knocking down his 3rd from bonus land here in the first half.
It's his 6th game with at least 3 3-pointers. Pettiford looking for his 3rd 3. That won't go. Bowman with a one-handed rebound. Darner working on Pettiford. Wasn't right there.
I am so impressed with Chattanooga's transition game. Not necessarily for quick shots, they'll take it. But man, do they put a lot of pressure on you immediately in a possession.
Auburn led by as many as 13 just a few moments ago. Then cut to 4, make it 6, possibly 7. Count the basket for Elijah Freeman.
I think this is on Bowman. This will be his 3rd. big fellow's going to learn. If you're going to foul down there block to block in that high rent district, get your money's worth. Don't allow the and one opportunities.
That is his third foul. That'll get Mekhi Richards off the bench, 6'10" Richards senior. Freeman converts the free throw. 70% at the line this year.
Full court denial after the make. Nice job by Richards to make himself available as an outlet.
Here's Faison. Tough shot. Couldn't get it to go. Auburn on the move. Pettiford lost the handle, out of bounds. It'll belong to Chattanooga.
I'm always reminded, Dave, play fast, but don't hurry. And it seems like Auburn at times gets to going too much in a hurry. Great job by Pettiford covering up the weak side action. Better finish by Billy Smith.
Yeah, Billy Smith at 6'7", Pettiford at 6'1", had a height advantage clearly in the paint and took advantage of it. Taken away by Richards. Faison will back it out. 3.5 to go, first half.
Dave, can't you sense Auburn's frustrating having to guard all this action?
Yes, no doubt.
Now, this is not defending at the Y.
Oh, we got an injured player. Oh, that's Tate Darner. Looks like he might have twisted an ankle over there on the sideline. Boy, I did not see him. He just kind of fell into the seats to our right. We will step aside. Timeout on the floor. Man, it's too bad.
All right, Darian Shuday here. We'll see you coming up at the half. How Arkansas took care of business against another top 20 team. Xavier Lee, big day for the Gators. Big win for them as well in first half here. What are you seeing from Auburn today?
Coach Stephen Pearl not happy with that three-point defense. Chattanooga shooting 45% from the three-point line.
Uncomfortably close, perhaps, but it's still a lot of basketball to be played.
Thank you, Dari. Here at State Farm Arena. The Auburn Tigers lead by 5, but boy, injuries have been an issue for Chattanooga this entire season, and one of their super talented freshmen, Tate Darner, just as you can see in the middle of your screen, looks like he stepped on Pettiford's foot, maybe?
Yeah, he comes up gimpy after that exchange there. I couldn't tell. A lot of bodies in there, but it almost looked like Pettiford's foot and his foot got tangled in the action. The one thing that Dan Earl's team does not need is to deal with more injuries.
Yeah, Tate Darner, I don't see him on the bench anywhere. I think he ran back into the tunnel and back in that Chattanooga locker room area. That jumper off the mark. He'd hit 3 threes, Tate Darner, and was certainly a thorn in the side of the Auburn Tigers here in the first half. Now the Mott's going to try to weather the storm without Darner on the floor. The last 3 minutes. Long three from Pettiford, no good. Faison pulls up, got it.
I just love the junior from Memphis. The transfer from Division II plays with such confidence.
Here's Hall at the free throw line. Nice little soft touch. That one goes down for Hall. He's up to 10 points. Richards looking for some help. Finds Washington. 3 from Smith, no good.
Impressive that Hall can get the defensive rebound and lead the transition opportunity.
Williams-Adams. Back to Pettiford. Shot clock in single digits. Walker. Loose ball on the deck, and Walker will pick up the foul.
That possession never did look clean.
So that'll be the second on Walker.
Wide open.
Richards goes with the left hand, left it short. Boy, he just hesitated.
Wasn't a good entry pass.
Pettiford. We thought that one was going to be money. Instead, it's off the back of the iron. Here's Walker. He's had a couple of threes in the first half. Hall backs it out for a second. Step back 3. Air ball. Saved by Walker, but threw it right to Washington. Up ahead to Smith. Cross court. Wide open is Watkins. In and out. And a hold on Hall underneath on the rebound.
I get the feeling that Auburn has become so concerned about guarding Chattanooga in the half court that their transition defense has kind of broken down. Chattanooga's taking the ball wherever they want in transition.
.50 seconds to go, and Chattanooga down 5 with the basketball. They were down as many as 13. They trailed 29-16. Darner hit a couple of threes, kept them in it. They had some good defensive stops in the process. This Chattanooga team, over the last 20 years, 0-23 against ranked teams. Now, they were able to beat a Tennessee team back in 2016.
Right.
That was their last win against a Southeastern Conference opponent. They're 12-39 all time against the SEC.
That last win over a ranked opponent, that was in the 1997 NCAA tournament, where they beat Illinois in the second round. They went on to the regional that year. 2 for 1 if you do it right.
And count the basket. A 3-point opportunity on the way for Teddy Washington. Hey, coming up next, we'll take you to historic Memorial Gymnasium. It is a hotbed of hoops right now in Nashville, where 15th ranked Vandy hosting Central Arkansas will cap the triple header with LSU hosting SMU at the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans. But the Commodores have been a great story this year in college basketball. Still unbeaten.
Yeah, one of the 8 remaining unbeatens. Number 5 in the net.
Hall off the backboard into that basket, and Hall having a heck of a first half with 12 points and 4 rebounds.
Guy that scoring just comes natural.
Richards underneath, count it. It went through the cylinder somehow, some way. And he'll head to the free throw line.
2 on the ball means 3 other defenders. There's the 2 on the ball. It's a great find, Pettiford on the weak side. That's a nice roll that time by Richards. And Richards, for a big guy who does not score a whole lot, has been outstanding at the free throw line this year.
5 points a game, almost 5 rebounds, 87% at the line, and you just jinxed him.
Yeah.
You did it before me. One of us was going to do it. Here we go. 2 seconds, 1 second on the way. Good in the corner. Elijah Freeman at the horn. Knocks home the 3 to give Auburn a 5-point advantage. Boy, the Tigers needed that.
Nice play that time and decision by Keyshawn Hall to beat the buzzer. Freeman with the 3 ball. Take a look again. Normally Hall and company have a tendency to force the issue. Not this time. The pass was a perfect strike, and Freeman delivers the 3 ball for Auburn.
Auburn shoots 50 on ESPN. There's Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which hosted the Cricket Celebration Bowl today. South Carolina knocks off Prairie View area in 4 overtimes. We are just about 100 yards away here at State Farm Arena. First half highlights, Chattanooga and Auburn. And Chattanooga hanging in there.
Teddy Washington Jr. off the bench, scored in a variety of ways, cutting to the basket, knocking down threes. He even got into the act of attacking the rim for and-one opportunities. He's a tough cover, smart player. For Auburn, Keyshawn Hall, so powerful, so explosive, whether against the man or against the zone. Chattanooga threw a lot at Auburn in the first 20, but Hall was Chattanooga eventually had no answer for Keyshawn Hall and his ability to make and take some tough shots.
Auburn in that first half had 10 assists on 16 made baskets, 6 turnovers. As you look at our first half stats, brought to you by the Halal guys.
The most important number on that page, 1. Tennessee Chattanooga turnovers. That's it.
To go with 10 assists. They shot 43%, however. By the way, no Tate Darner to start the second half. Trying to see if he even made it back to the bench over there out of the break. I don't see him on the bench. Tate got off to a great start with 3 threes from the true freshman. Helped close the gap, and then with a couple of minutes left to go in the first half, just stepped on a foot and twisted his ankle. Pettiford in the first half, 6 points on 2 made threes. There is a foul by Richards will pick up his second.
Freeman is kind of so bouncy with his ability to attack the rim. Hasn't shot the ball particularly well so far this season, just 5 of 20 from deep. But much like Keyshawn Hall, can get himself to the free throw line.
Freeman will get the second one to go down. It is a 7-point game. Auburn led by as many as 13 in the first half. Oh, kick out to Smith. Outlet goes to Freeman. He had it taken away. Smith. Oh, a big collision. Williams-Adams tackles Watkins. That's going to leave a mark.
Wrong place at the wrong time.
Ooh, goodness. Watkins, they listed at 6 feet.
Look at all 5 players out on the perimeter. Nothing new for Chattanooga.
Shot clock down to 7. Smith looking for a little bit of room, too. Little floater, got it.
Never a doubt.
Yes, never a doubt.
Transfer from Bellarmine.
Last year at Bellarmine, he averaged 14 points, shot 38%. Boy, a little run out here by the Mocs.
Late in the possession, the senior knows he's got to get it off. Kind of forces the issue off his wrong foot. Nothing but the bottom.
Six, 6'7", a senior transfer, first year at Tennessee Chattanooga. Started, Billy Smith did, at Miami of Ohio. And it's just the paths now that these players take. Unless you grew up die-hard fan of that school,
right?
You're going to play at a couple places,
right?
I mean, it's crazy. Who did we have? Was somebody had played at? I can't remember. Was it earlier game today? Somebody had played at like 3 junior.
All college. 4 levels.
Yeah,
all 4 levels of college basketball. Chattanooga in and out of zones, keeping Auburn just a little bit off balance.
Here's Hall. Shot clock at 7. Down to 6. That one's stolen away. Easy takeaway by Washington. Spins in traffic, kicks it back out. Watkins for 3. Got it. It is a 1-point game here at State Farm Arena.
I don't really think Auburn has a good feel right now how to attack the zone.
And a reach-in foul against the Mocs, and this is how you cut it to 1.
After the turnover, you never throw back to the point from the baseline. Spin move, ball fake, kick out 3. And Watkins, who made 5 threes earlier this week against Oakwood, knocks down another. Well, if Auburn doesn't know it until right now, it's game on.
In and out, rebound to Richards. Chattanooga has never led in this game. Razan kicks it back out to Washington. Washington working on the Williams-Adams and lost the handle.
All of the zone takes away a lot of Auburn's best offensive traits, and that's playing one-on-one. Now here's isolation, and that's a great set. That seems simple, but putting your best scorer in the right position against the zone is a quality trip.
Foul. It's going to go against Brennan Watkins. That'll be his second as Hall steps to the free throw line. Hall's now 4 out of 5 at the line today. Well, don't forget, we've got some more basketball coming your way. Next week's SEC Network featured basketball games Wednesday night. Thomas Houck and the 18th ranked Gators host St. Francis at 6:30 Eastern at the O-Dome. Then Madison Booker leads the number 2 Texas women against Northwest. State at the Moody Center in Austin, both available, of course, in the all-new ESPN app.
I don't think Auburn can keep Friesen in front of him. He gets by everybody who's tried to guard him and creates problems. Going back to the free throw line. Now, what's odd about this game, Dave, is that Chattanooga, coming into the game, they're not a high volume free throw attempt team. Less than 18 a game. But they're going to the line now for attempts number 9 and 10 already.
50% foul shooter on the year, and got them both. And we're back to a 1-point game.
I have to believe the longer this goes, the more confident the Mocs may become.
Mocs, I think, have only had one substitution so far in the second half. Inside, an easy one for Hall.
Better high-low attack of the zone that time.
Smith, guarded by Murphy. Now gets it to Bowman, working on Hall. Faison, pull up.
No! Oh my goodness!
He's got 11 to go along with 5 assists and a couple of rebounds. 13 assists for the Mocs on 17 made baskets.
Magwood deep three, rips it. Much better spacing against the zone. The ball got reversed. Magwood, who hasn't had a lot of success, that's just his 6th made three on the year.
Here's Smith. Off to Washington. Smith going baseline. Spins, throws it up, and got a friendly roll off the bounce. That is having a soft touch. And Murphy's fouled on the way to the basket. Boy, Keyshawn hasn't been much of an offensive factor here today. Has 5 points.
How about this Magwood three for Auburn? But it's the quickness of Faison that's given Chattanooga all kinds of problems.
Dan Earl worked a lot of magic last year to get his team to an NCAA championship run. We're having to work a lot of magic today as well. I mean, it has been a tough road in terms of injuries and health for his team this year. There is the latest injury. Tate Darner, the true freshman, who hit 3 threes and was really playing well, twisted his ankle. We were told at halftime it was doubtful, but now we can pretty much say that it is a no-go for Mr. Darner. Hope he's okay. He is going to be a big part of this team moving forward. But, I mean, there's only 4 players in a jersey available to play off the bench for Dan Earl. To the left of your screen, we can't really see it because it's on the basket. There's 4 other players over there in street clothes with braces and crutches, and it's just it's crazy that they're only down 2 to this team.
I think I know what Dan Earl would like for Christmas. A healthy roster.
Right. Down 3 now, but I mean, the fight has certainly been in there for this Mocs team to this point with 15:03 to play.
Be interesting to see if maybe Auburn changes, not just deny, but maybe press. See if they can disrupt Chattanooga. Get the ball out of Faison's hands.
Chattanooga's made 4 straight shots. They were down 4. Watkins, high arching 3 off the front of the rim. Boy, it was on the line. He was frustrated. He thought that one was good.
What call? Perfect execution, though, on the flare screen.
That one clanks off the side of the rim. Faison back the other way. Washington. Billy Smith. Nice cut. That one is blocked. They're going to say a foul against the Tigers as Caden Magwood. I think the block. They're going to count the basket.
It's a little bit of a Princeton action. You dribble at the wing, backdoor pass.
They are going to count the basket. 1 free throw coming up. The foul was on Magwood for a push.
I think this is going to.
Yeah, they're going to wave
common
off.
Sense is going to prevail here, I think.
We're trying to straighten that out over there. Dan Earl says, wait a minute.
You see Anthony Jordan holding up 2 fingers. That's for 2 shots.
Dan Earl's like, you called, count the basket. But that will send Britton Watkins, 85% foul shooter, to the free throw line. Young man who transferred in from North Dakota State. It's been a couple of years at VMI. 1 year at North Dakota State and has found his way to Chattanooga. Of course, Dan Earl knows something about VMI. He was a head coach there for a number of years. Two-point game.
Too much standing, too much dribbling.
Shot clock at 8. Hall, corner. That's a 3. Second chance opportunity for Auburn. And a foul is going to be called. Who's that going to be against?
That's good work by Jovic on the offensive glass. He started the first 3 games of the season. Plays about 19 minutes a game.
That foul against Watkins, his 3rd. Jovic averages 7 points, 5 rebounds tonight. Don't you forget, freshman phenom Darius Acuff. Junior Malik Taylor lead number 17 Arkansas against Queens University. Coverage begins Tuesday at 9 Eastern, 8 Central from Bud Walton Arena in Fayetteville. Great win today for the Hogs.
Yes, that's a big time win. Acuff and Thomas, they are legit freshmen. Now I know we might be watching a historically great freshman class this season. Those 2 are on the list.
Foul against Chattanooga as Elijah Freeman comes crashing to the floor.
Friesen runs right in.
What was that?
To Freeman. I think that's an easy call.
A rare mistake by Chattanooga. That's just their 4th turnover of the game.
Which is a big reason why they're only down 4. Pettiford, who sat over on the bench for a while, back on the floor.
Boy, Williams-Adams using brute strength to get that basket. Boy, Auburn coming with some frantic pressure off the inbounds. Now they'll drop back defensively. Smith trying to get some room for a shot. Well, good defense by Williams-Adams. Pettiford comes up with the basketball.
Better defensive patience by Auburn. See, I'm not a big fan of catching and dribbling all the time. And that leads to the turnover.
Watkins, ball fake on Hall. Elbow jumper, no good. Rebound Murphy. Pettiford. Dahad averaging almost 16 points a game. Has 6 points today on a couple of early threes. And a foul there on Jakari Johnson.
Again, the changing defenses that Chattanooga has done has really limited Auburn's best one-on-one players, who are really good at creating their own look in terms of Hall and Pettiford.
Tahad, a preseason All-American on many people's list. Obviously preseason All-SEC. Really came on in the NCAA tournament last year when he scored 23 in the second round against Creighton and had a 20-point game against Michigan in the Sweet 16. Actually tested the NBA waters this offseason. Decided to come back and hone his game a little bit more.
Dave, already the 8th foul on Chattanooga. This is a long time to be in the bonus.
Yep. For an Auburn team that shoots 73% at the line as a team. Long outlet, Faison. Murphy getting back. And because of that, I think he saw
footsteps. Yeah. Who can blame him?
Here's Murphy. Been waiting for him to kind of take over in the paint. With his size and athletic ability, it seems like this would be a game that he might dominate, but has been somewhat quiet offensively, but pushes the lead out to 10.
This is an old school flex cut and present yourself in the paint. Keep your eye on 3 white. Nice finish by Murphy. Nice run by Auburn.
You're watching the Halal Guys Holiday Hoops Giving. They're festive. There's a lot going on over there. We can talk about that for hours.
There he is.
Yeah, the SEC Network has you covered for 3 of the college football playoff first-round games. They'll be in Norman Friday morning, December 19th for the Alabama-Oklahoma showdown. The full day of coverage begins at 8 a.m. Eastern and wraps up with SEC football final. Saturday morning, December 20th, the Crews will be in College Station and Oxford to get you set for Miami, Texas A&M, and Tulane, Ole Miss. SEC Nation begins at 10 a.m. Eastern, and coverage finishes up with another SEC football final.
All right, real quick, give me a team from the left that might make it out to the semifinals.
Texas A&M.
Okay.
They had a really, really good year, and they've got a really good quarterback and a solid I think that they're a team that certainly gets by Miami. They're going to have their hands full by Ohio State, but I think Texas A&M certainly is a team to watch. Just my humble opinion. By the way, you know what's been really good about this last week? I didn't hear Lane Kiffin's name like one time in a week. Where you went, that was a story.
Yes.
Chattanooga trying to make story out of this. This one down 10. They'd cut it to 1 a couple of times this half. Here's Smith. Oh, had his pass nearly taken away. 5 on the shot clock. Push. Oh no, he steps on the sideline. Out of bounds. It'll be Auburn basketball. Boy, Dan Earl thought he was bumped out of bounds.
Great activity defensively by Auburn that time.
Hockey is here. The break.
Going to be another great year of basketball in the Southeastern Conference. Maybe not as good as last year, but nonetheless going to be a good one.
I posed the question, who can be this year's Vanderbilt? It might be Vanderbilt again. Somebody that's picked in the bottom half of the league that might finish over on the left-hand side. Georgia also might be a team that can do that. 3 teams in the top 7 in terms of points per game. Georgia, Vanderbilt, and Alabama. I just had Alabama last weekend. They're one of the teams that I think, Dave Neal, presses you on offense. And they've got that big-time game against Arizona in Birmingham later tonight.
Louisville and Tennessee.
Pretty good day for the SEC, though, in men's hoops so far, because Arkansas's won, Oklahoma's won, Georgia won, Florida won, Ole Miss won.
Arkansas win against Texas Tech. Oklahoma beats Oklahoma State and Oklahoma City. Georgia with a substandard first half, but then just annihilated Cincinnati in the second half, outscored the Bearcats by 19.
And this is the old flex action. Bruce Pearl made this.
Well short. All keeps it alive. Shot clock did reset. Kick it back to Pettiford. 3 on the way, no good. Freeman, what a finish! Elijah Freeman hangs in the air, lays it in.
If you want to be a great offensive rebounder, never be out of the picture. Put the camera down and get in the picture.
Washington, boy, you just feel like these next couple of minutes going to determine this game in a big way.
Bad pass by Pettiford. Oh, what a job by Williams-Adams to gather that. It's the little things that matter. Auburn out on the break, had numbers, but the pass was so far behind Williams-Adams. He was lucky to just gather it.
Williams-Adams out of Houston, Texas, 6'8" freshman, a 5-star, top 35 prospect.
It's another one of those bounces that we would never get at the Carnival.
No.
Back of the rim, straight up and straight down.
12-0 run by the Tigers, now their largest lead of the game. Bowman's back on the floor, by the way, number 30 in blue with 4 fouls, the freshman.
I love the way Chattanooga, the ball has energy when they run their stuff.
And a reach-in foul against Keyshawn Murphy. Chattanooga shooting 43%, Auburn at 51%. Auburn's done a nice job defending that three-point line today. Although they get the easy 2 by Washington, but only 16 attempts, 6 makes by Chattanooga today for a team that you thought would come in here and shoot 30, 35 of these threes.
Washington's been so solid off the bench.
Williams-Adams. It's going to stay with Auburn, hit the bottom of the stanchion underneath the basket.
I think Auburn's just running that flex cut flash, even against the zone. I like that adjustment.
Foul on Washington. That'll be his first.
Dave,
now
don't you feel like
team foul? 2 shots coming up for Chattanooga.
Excuse me. Don't you feel like Hall has a NBA feel of how to draw fouls? That last time he kind of put the ball out in front, he's strong enough not to get ripped.
Okay, now he reminds me, I'm not saying it's the same type of player, it just reminds me of former Kentucky player Julius Randle when he gets in the paint with the basketball.
Yes. Like, here, I'm just holding it out.
Right.
I dare you to reach in.
And he's so strong, it's hard to just move him when he gets in the paint. He tries, we've seen today Hall try to step out and hit some threes. He's missed a couple badly, but certainly he's got the ability. Hall's 44%, 16 makes this year from behind the arc.
With kind of a strange delivery on his shot.
Washington. Shot clock at 7. Smith. Boy, now we've got another injured Chattanooga player as Freeman gets that one to go, and Watkins, Brennan Watkins, is now, he's gimpy. They've already lost Tate Darner. Wow. This is incredible, the injury situation.
Take a look at the bottom of your screen. One blue comes off this dribble handoff, and knees just kind of collide.
Oh, boy. Right, Zahn kicks it to Holland. Washington. That won't go. The tap, though, by Bowman is good. Josh, the freshman from Huntsville. Just his third game that he's played this year. Told the story earlier, they were planning on redshirting him, but injuries forced him into action. That one is short and out of bounds. It'll belong to Chattanooga. Man, that's just, it's an epidemic over there right now.
Watkins coming off that game where he made 5 earlier in the week, 3 balls, had 18 points.
Mock shooting 44%. Entry pass to Bowman. He'll kick it back out. Faison got it to go down. The young man averaging 13 points a game. He is up to 13 today.
I mentioned this in the first half. He just plays with so much confidence.
Yeah. Not afraid, for sure.
There's the flex cut and the flash.
There's a foul. That's it looks like Smith will pick that one up. And he will. That'll be his third.
So the flex cut basically means a baseline cutter with a screener. Then the screener flashes to the middle. It's a good 1-2 action that Auburn's had success against the zone here in the second half. Good adjustment by Bruce. I started to say Bruce Pearl. Stephen Pearl and the staff.
This schedule that Auburn has taken on here this season is was a big ask for a brand new roster. They had a chance to beat Houston, had the ball late in the game, just couldn't convert, lost 73-72. Michigan thumped them pretty good.
Michigan's thumping everybody pretty good.
Back around, Faison has it. Little run out, here's Smith, he'll line up the 3, catch and shoot, got it. It's back to single digits. Quick timeout taken by Chattanooga. 7:55 to go from State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia.
You already know Pat Bradley tip time for Vandy and Central Arkansas is 6:35. Shooter, what are we watching for here?
Well, you have Tyler Tanner and Duke Miles, both top 5 in steals in the league and top 10 in assists per game in the league. And oh, by the way, both shoot over 40% from the 3.
Obviously, Auburn will not be over in 8 minutes. It'll start on
off that list, right?
Yeah, we're down to 7. Arizona, the one at the bottom there, in Birmingham to play Bama later tonight.
Oklahoma State taken down by Oklahoma today. A whistle.
Much better execution, though. The ball went from the right side of the floor back to the left, trying to isolate Hall inside off of a cut.
All back to the free throw line again.
Well, I said in the first half he averages almost 9 free throw attempts per game. That was his 9th. This will be his 10th.
And a quick foul against Auburn. That'll go against Elijah Freeman. By the way, Hall up to 20 points, 9 out of 10 at the line today.
That's his 7th 20-point game already.
It's the free throws, because it just doesn't look like he's dominating the game.
Yeah.
But he ends up scoring 20 a night. Smith kind of pushed out of his comfort zone. Now takes it inside. Holland.
I see a different energy level on closing out, though, by Auburn.
5 on the shot clock. Easy layup. Faison right to the basket.
But I'm okay with that if I'm Stephen Pearl, because I'm closing out on 3s. 2s hurt you, but 3s kill you.
Wide open 3 for Freeman.
But again, Dave, that 3 came out of the offense.
How did anybody see points a game? Why did he average 40 a game?
Watch this on this last possession. See all the action where the defenders are? That's a great read that time by Williams Adams, because all 5 defenders had pulled over to the strong side. The pass was on point. That's good recognition. That's a 3 that comes out of the flow of the offense.
Freeman was so highly sought after when he put his name in the portal. He was pursued by Kentucky and Tennessee as well, but settled on Auburn. What we've seen at the football level, we've seen it at the baseball level, now we're starting to see it more and more in the basketball level. Like Division II athletes now have a shot.
Right.
To move up quickly to Division I in a Power 4, Power 5 conference team. A couple of Division II guys focused on tonight. Faison with 16, Freeman with 19.
That's a
to Division
III screen inside for Hall. That's good action. Again, another 3 out of the offense. Really well done.
Corey Pettiford just like, thank goodness that one went in. He's made 3 shots. They've all been 3-pointers. Smith to Washington. Holland had a 3 look for a minute. Gets it to Bowman, who throws it up and in.
You know one thing, Josh Bowman is a pretty good-looking young player, isn't he? Burning his red shirt, he's going to get a lot of minutes.
Well, yeah, now he's going to get, he might play every minute of every game if he stays out of foul trouble. There's just not enough bodies over there for the Mocs.
See, that's a loose possession, loose pass. Faison loves that Gretzky dribble, doesn't he?
He does. Washington hits a cutting Holland. Faison to the basket, fouled that time by Freeman. That'll be Freeman's 3rd.
Take another look at all the cutting action. What did Stephen Pearl tell you and I today? Guarding Chattanooga, you can guard, you can guard, you can guard. The minute you stand up, late in a possession, a cutter goes by you.
It's happened a few times, but I think Chattanooga, I don't care who you are, they're going to get you a few times every night.
Remember, I said early in the game, I thought they'd score enough.
Yeah.
They're that good offensively, even shorthanded.
Good to see Watkins back on the floor. He just checked back in. He's shaking that right leg. Under 5 to go. Auburn's led the whole way, although Chattanooga's cut it to 1 a few times here in the second half. Pettiford with 11 points. Step back, that's a 2, and off the back of the rim. Another opportunity. And a foul. That will send Jovic to the free throw line.
Good work by Jovic again on the offensive glass. That's his 5th rebound of the game. If you want to earn more playing time without scoring, do the little things. Go to the glass, get a steal, go on the floor for a loose ball. That will impress your head coach more than making shots.
4 fouls on Smith. 4 fouls on Bowman. Jovic from Bosnia and Herzegovina. Played professionally last year at Serbia. What's the difference? I know the roster's different, but in terms of how Auburn plays from this year to last year, what do you notice about how they look, what they're running?
Well, right now, they don't have Janai Broom to throw it inside to. Now, you're not going to get a Janai Broom but every 20 years, so it's a different look. I think they had more three-point shooting than they had a year ago. This is a team that is 9th in the SEC at three-point percentage at 34%, or just under. So I think they're having to manufacture points in a different way.
Now, you know Hall's going to get his, I think, and you hope Pettiford's going to get his share. Who's that third guy, that fourth guy that they're going to have to be able to, it won't be the same guy every night, but there's got to be 2 or 3 guys that you can choose from.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Freeman. I mean, the way he's played tonight, Freeman has certainly looked the part. Freeman came in averaging 8. He's up to 19.
Yeah, we haven't seen Overton in the second half.
Here's Hall. Freeman to Pettiford. To High. Fouled by Watkins. That'll be his 4th, and that'll send Pettiford to the free throw line.
Bailout foul by Watkins. You did all that work to keep Pettiford in front of you. He's going to shoot a mid-range fall-away jumper. There's no reason to foul there.
Pettiford averaging almost 16 points a game, almost 3 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 30% three-point shooter. Coming off that 30-point game, 10 of 19 from the field, 5 of 9 from behind the arc against Arizona. Really I wouldn't say the lone bright spot, but certainly one of few against the Wildcats.
And Dave, this isn't over. 4 minutes ago, If you had told Dan Early he was going to be in this position, he might have taken it this morning.
Oh, that one's slapped against the backboard. Kept alive. Here's Bowman. Goes with the left hand and got it to go down.
Kind of flipped it up.
Single digits, down to 8. Boy, not having Kate Darner on the floor, who is perhaps her best three-point shooter, changes things a little bit for this Chattanooga team. Here's a 3 on the way from Frizon, no good. Rebound, an easy rebound for Murphy.
That was a big miss.
Yeah. That might have changed the dynamic a little bit of this one if it went down, but Murphy threw it into the 4th row. Chattanooga won't go away. They're down 8, 3:05 to go, and our second of 2 from State Farm Arena in Atlanta, GA.
Top to bottom, the best league in the country by far.
The SEC. SEC Network, your home for SEC men's basketball.
The SEC and SEC Network thank our official corporate sponsors for their continued support of our student athletes during every championship season.
Clear your calendar. You can feel the electricity. Time to get a little unhinged for 3 hours, then start counting down until you can do it all again. Welcome to the wild world of college game day.
SEC men's basketball is brought to you by the Halal Guys. From a New York City food cart to a global fast casual icon. The Auburn Tigers, their second Final Four over a 6-year period. And then Bruce Pearl this offseason, I think, well, shocked me. I don't know if he shocked a lot of people over there, but shocked me when he decided to step away and turn the reins over to his son, who has certainly been involved with Auburn basketball for a dozen years. So Stephen Pearl handling things now for the Tigers, but some other father-son coaching takeovers. Of course, Tony Bennett, Washington State. Bryson Scott Drew replaced their father Homer, and Murray Bartow replaced legendary Gene Bartow over at UAB.
I asked him about moving one seat over. His answer was pretty comical, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He said the schedule. And he wasn't talking about the teams they're playing, his schedule. And that fact that everything about the Auburn program now runs through him.
Washington, a little step back. That one is short. Freeman with it. It was interesting to hear him say, you don't know what you don't know until you get in the seat. You think you know. Murphy, that one's off the mark. Billy Smith with a nice rebound. Hey, 2.5 to play, 8-point game.
I'm not sure I like that shot.
Three on the way, no good.
I think Auburn would be well served to make sure the offense goes through Hall.
Hall has 20 points today, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and Billy Smith just fouls out of this. Billy Smith with 14 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists of his own.
What a tall ask, though, because Smith had to play some minutes at the 5 as well.
He can score now. We're going to see a lot of. He can score now. We're going to see a lot of Billy Smith this year for Chattanooga for some big games. He had 33 against Ball State last year when he was playing for Bellarmine. You just don't roll out of bed and score 33.
Well, this has been an area where Williams Adams has struggled this year at the free throw line. Shot that one with confidence.
Couple of swishes at the free throw line.
Not bad for a guy shooting 46% on the year.
Sometimes I think it's all in their head.
Free throw shooting is about repetition and confidence, period.
A circus shot from Washington. Thought he was fouled. 1:43 and counting to go.
How good has Washington and Frison been today for the Bucks?
Frison with 20, Washington with 14. Smith, who just fouled out, with 14. That's off the mark. And a foul off the rebound. 2 shots coming up for Auburn. Again, guess who's going to the free throw line?
I think one of the things, when you have roster turnover like Auburn has from last year to this year, you have to remember the offense was so crisp for the last couple of years because they had all kinds of returning guys. Now, the timing of the offense, what did Cincinnati's head coach Wes Miller tell us? Offense is art. Well, I think in the early season, I think there's a lot of ugly art going on with offense.
Yeah, he was talking.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, he was talking about defense. It's about your heart, your 1-2 desire. That's the majority of defense. You got to want to do that. Offense is more artistic, where you got to really work at it, think about it.
And Auburn just seems disjointed today.
Yeah.
The changing of defenses, I think, is part of that. And Freeman's got to learn you just cannot do that all the time. That may not hurt them in this game, but if you got a tie game later in the year at Arkansas and you make that kind of play, that can be the difference between winning and losing.
I will say this, Stephen Pearl has not subbed a whole bunch here in the second half.
Right.
Like you said, we haven't seen Caden Magwood the entire second half. Magwood had played a bunch of minutes, double figures in the first half. He's averaging 10 minutes a game. Freeman's got a bunch of run.
Now here may be a full court press. I would run and jump here. Going to be hard to do that with Pettiford. Too many dribbles.
Got picked off. Off the rim, no good. The other guy we haven't seen, Overton.
Right.
Overton, he's an 11-point scorer for Auburn.
I kind of got the sense from talking to Stephen Pearl, he felt like this was going to be a bad matchup for his team.
Yeah.
That they weren't ready to guard. In their growth and development and maturity, they weren't ready to guard this kind of a team. I think they'll all walk away from this game and go, thank goodness nobody in the league plays this way.
Bowman can't get it to go. And the Tigers could run the clock out if they so choose. But Pettiford's like, no, I'm going to get one more shot up. And it's a good one. Maybe he can take that one home with him. Pettiford is going to finish with 17 points. He hit 4 of 8. And a foul out on the perimeter with 9 seconds left. Auburn could just dribble this thing out, but they want some offense.
Dave, I'm going to make this statement, and it'll seem kind of silly, but unless you coach, you never understand this statement. Sometimes a win doesn't feel like a win. And I think that's probably the way Auburn will feel about this. They'll feel much better about it tomorrow. They'll feel much better about when they watch Chattanooga in January, February in the SoCon, a team that's the preseason #1 pick in that league. But it was hard work for the Tigers today.
And don't forget that up next is a date with Purdue for this Auburn team.
And officials went to sleep there.
Yeah.
2-shot foul. Bruce Pearl. That's twice I've done that now. I've got that out of my system for the rest of the year. Stephen Pearl. Take a look at Stephen Pearl. What are we doing?
Hey, man, some things are hard to change. Hall at the free throw line. I think they're just trying to get the clock reset. I think it was, what, 8.1 seconds maybe on the clock? It's not 9:20.
The crowd likes it. They want more hoops. My guess is they're trying to set 9.2.
That's been the shot of the night. Those folks in the holiday spirit.
I think we might go on the honor system here. And
right, just say, you know what?
We'll figure it out.
It's less than 10 seconds, so if Chattanooga, just let them shoot the free throw. Somebody count 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
Yes.
Look, we'll just do the old. Remember the arm action when they bring it up midcourt.
Right. Auburn just outside the top 30 in the net. They're 29 in KenPom. They've done their early work this season in terms of building a resume. Have that win over St. John's. That's not going anywhere. The win over NC State's not going anywhere. They do have this kind of big game coming up a week from today.
That'd be Purdue, right? That one? Purdue?
Yes.
They got the clock right. And all that waiting, and Hall misses the free throw. One last gasp to put a couple more points on the board. And Chattanooga does with Jakari Johnson with a dunk. 3.6 seconds. Pettiford pulls up and rips the net. Tahad, kind of quiet in the second half, somehow finishes with 20 points.
Yes.
He hit 5 3-pointers today. So Stephen Pearl and the Auburn Tigers go to 8-3. Chattanooga will go to 5-6. And boy, they got to get healthy if they want to make any kind of run in Southern Conference basketball this year. Health is the number one concern.
For Auburn, no, it was not necessarily the prettiest of games, but Keyshawn Hall, how about this stat line? 22 points, 11 boards, 11 of 14 at the free throw line. He was the difference in the game.
Auburn wins it 92-78. For Mark Wise, the rest of our crew, I'm Dave Neal saying so long from State Farm Arena here in Atlanta. Coming up next, Central Arkansas and Vanderbilt. Let's get you out to Memorial Gymnasium.